Welcome to Chattin with CHAP. I'm your host, Ginger Wade. I'm really hoping to talk to you guys about a few issues in the law. Not issues, parts of the law. How to withdraw your children, how to use the private tutor law, and what do you do if you move during the school year. We're going to cover those things today, but right now I'm going to do a few reminders and helpful hints for all of you out there in homeschool land. The first thing I wanted to mention was that the CHAP leadership team is going to be taking a trip to our leadership conferences again this September. It has been invaluable to us in providing really solid events for you, information for you, building connections so that we can better support you. It has been a really great help with our relationship with HSLDA and being able to support you with all the things that are going on in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you would like to support us in going to those leadership conferences, I encourage you to make a donation today. You can go to chaponline.com to the donate tab and choose the Freedom Fund, which is very aptly named, to keeping our homeschool freedom. So when you donate to the Freedom Fund, what that does is it enables us to go to these leadership conferences, learn more. It helps us to do the events that we do and to do them better. It helps us to be able to maintain our websites and things like that so that you get the support that you need in your homeschooling journey. So partner with us in doing that today. We would love if you would join with us to promote homeschooling in the state of Pennsylvania. The second thing I wanted to mention before I get into our fun topics of the day is we need some technical help. If you like doing web pages or if you like updating things so information is up to date and you want to make sure that people are aware of groups and evaluators and stuff like that, we need some technical folks to help us take care of our resources. So we are looking for a web admin who would like to update like our group listings or evaluator listings, make changes to the web pages as needed. We're also looking for a registration website coordinator. That is someone who creates our registration websites. And we're also looking for like a website event administrator. I'm not exactly sure all the titles we gave to these things, but that third person would create the websites for the events that we have, like the hometown tour and the convention and things like that. So if you have skills that way or you would like to learn, because all of us who are doing it just kind of learned by doing it, let us know. We would love to have you on board with the CHAP team. We will give you all the training you need to be able to do those things. But they are, as you can imagine, they are like foundational to what we as an organization do here at CHAP. And it would be really, really great to have a bigger team of tech savvy folks who are willing to pour into homeschooling community their skills and talents that they've been given from Jesus. So also I wanted to mention graduation reminders before we get into the nitty gritty of our topic for the day. You wouldn't think in August you would need to hear graduation reminders, but mamas of kids who are graduating this coming May. It sounds really crazy. I know. It'll be here before you know it. You do need to be thinking about those things. You need to be thinking about graduation. You need to be thinking about the diploma. You need to be thinking about the transcript and the last evaluation. And guess what? I did episodes on all those things. So if you go to our YouTube channel, look for CHAP Homeschool Pennsylvania out on YouTube. You'll find us very easily. Go to the Homeschool Law playlist. And in there, you will find 4 episodes, maybe 5. I actually can't remember how many I did, but they are green. Like the thumbnails are green. And it says Senior Week on it. And all of those videos tell you all the things about getting your child prepared to graduate and move on to their future. So if you are wondering about any of those things, please go check out those videos and look into what you're going to want to do for graduation now. Like I know there's an organization in Lancaster. It's a coalition of co-op groups and things like that. And they have up to 200 students graduate together, which is wonderful. But they actually start in September and they meet and do things together throughout the entire year. It's not just a one-time event in May. You may not have something like that where you live in the state of Pennsylvania, but if you're near me, there is that option. It's the CHAP organization that does that. And you need to be signed up by September in order to be part of that. So it's just something to keep in mind. Don't put that off until May and then ask if there's a ceremony around. Another thing I did want to say about that is CHAP is not able to do graduation this coming year at the convention because we do not have a coordinator. So unfortunately, you cannot rely on CHAP to have a graduation at the convention this year because we have no one to do it. So if you are someone who has a 2027 grad who wants to have a ceremony at the convention, we would love to have the ceremony at the convention, but we cannot because there is no one to organize it. We do have the layouts from the previous years. We can totally coach someone in how to do these things, but we need someone who would actually be responsible and take care of the whole thing through to the end. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to us. You can message me here on Facebook. You can write to staff@chaponline.com. We would love to hear from you if you are interested in taking on that role in the CHAP team. Okay, I know that was a lot of announcements. I'm going to take a quick drink of water. It is a thirsty day, and we're going to get into our very fun little topics for the day. Now, homeschoolpennsylvania.org is great. Have you been there? I hope you have. If you haven't, you need to go there. homeschoolpennsylvania.org. Such a good resource. It's our law knowledge base. It has the actual text of the law there. You can read it. And then it takes that law and it breaks it into little pieces on all these different pages so that you can read more thoroughly about all those bits and pieces. And then there's links to videos that I've done explaining all those bits and pieces. So it's very thorough, it's very helpful to you, and it is up to date. So there are parts in the law, as you would imagine, that don't get a lot of attention because they're not done by everyone. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. There's 3 topics today that don't get talked about a lot because they're only for particular groups of people, not homeschoolers as a broad umbrella, right? So today, the first topic we're going to talk about in relation to these things is withdrawing your children from public school. So not everybody starts homeschooling their children from the start. Some people get their kids into public school and go, this is not working. We're pulling the children out. Okay, so that is wonderful. I'm so glad you make that decision because I believe the best place for the kids to learn is at home. And it's not just about learning. It's about understanding who they are. It's about understanding how they learn. It's about building relationship with you and their siblings. I have heard countless stories of parents who have brought their children home and they used to bicker and fight, and within 2 weeks, 2 months of being home homeschooling, their siblings are great friends. They get along. They enjoy each other. They play together. And this is not just a fairy tale. I mean, it really happens. The influence of separating kids in the public school scenario is very real. It was my experience. So bringing your kid home from public school is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, we're not into the school year yet, but if you are into the school year and you are wanting to pull your child from school, or if your child was in school last year and you do not want them to be now, in order to be a homeschooler, you need to file the paperwork. So the paperwork is the affidavit or the unsworn declaration. You choose one or the other. One is notarized by a notary, obviously, and the other is just signed by you. And both of them have equal legal standing, and both are accepted at the school district. Okay, they are both valid under the law. The other piece you need to hand in is the objectives. Objectives are just an explanation of what you're going to do. So those are the 2 pieces you hand in. Once you hand in, the reason I did that quickly is that I'm going to explain it in further detail in a future episode really soon. So objectives plus an affidavit or an unsworn declaration is what you need to hand into the school district, and you hand it in at the district office. Don't give it to the principal of your kid's school. It goes into the district office. Now, my district office is actually at the high school. I think most districts are probably like that. So that paperwork goes in there. Once those 2 pieces of paper are into the district office, you are a homeschooler. Ta-da! Right there. That's all you need to do. We are not an approval state. An approval state would mean that you have to wait for the school district to say that you are allowed to homeschool. That does not happen in the state of Pennsylvania. Once you hand in your paperwork, you are a homeschooler. Now, most of the districts will write you a letter saying you have been approved for this year. And that's not how the law works. They can say they've received your paperwork, but they don't approve you. They can tell you that you missed a piece of your paperwork, but they still don't approve you. So they can just let you know. So anyway, after you get that paperwork into the office, then it's a wise decision to go over and withdraw your child from the public school formally. Now, in the homeschool law, that's not a required step, but it does help with confusion between the two because there might be a staff person doing homeschool paperwork and a separate one taking care of the public school students. So for continuity and making sure that it's all connected there, it's probably wise to take the step of sending in a withdrawal letter to the school district for your child that you're withdrawing them. But I would only do it after you file the homeschool paperwork so there's no gaps there. So we do on homeschoolpennsylvania.org, we do have a sample letter, and by sample I mean template. It's a template. You can use it as it is. Fill it out. You can hand that into the school also. So you could go in the same day. You've got your homeschool paperwork in one hand and your withdrawal letter in the other, and you deliver it in to the district office, and then your child is formally withdrawn from public school and automatically a homeschooler because you just handed in your paperwork. So the idea there is why you wouldn't want to withdraw first and then hand in paperwork the same day or day. Well, same day is fine, but days later is a truancy issue. So if your children are sick from school 3 days or away from school, I wouldn't say sick from school. If they're away from school without a note, without a reason, you get into truancy issues. So it's wisest to file as a homeschool student first and then withdraw your student instead of doing it the other way around. So there you go. That is the first little bit of not frequently talked about homeschool law, was just withdrawing your children from public school in order to homeschool. So again, all that paperwork is on homeschoolpennsylvania.org. The second thing we're going to talk about today is what happens if I move during the school year. On Homeschool Pennsylvania, we call it relocating. But say you're in one school district, you buy a house somewhere else, and you move to a different school district, still in the state of Pennsylvania. What happens when I do this? I just walked a friend through this. They just moved yesterday, but they were living in Elizabethtown School District, and they moved to Donegal School District, which is the next school district over, but still, my paperwork was filed in E-Town. What do? Do I just file another set of affidavit and stuff over here in this other one? No, actually, what you do, you're supposed to give 30 days notice. You reach out to your superintendent of your current, old house school district, and you say to them, hi, we're purchasing a home over here in this school district. Would you please write a letter of transfer for my homeschool paperwork to transfer from your school district, old school district, to new school district? And then what happens is the superintendent actually writes a letter of transfer. And then you have this letter of transfer. It gets filed over at the new school district. And then typically the new school district will say, hey, we received this letter. You're all good to go. Your paperwork is now over in this school district. So that it's an easy process. The thing that says in the law is you're supposed to do it 30 days before you move. Now, I know some moves happen really fast, and that might not be possible, or you might not be absolutely sure, but you do it as soon as you know you're doing it, moving. get in there. You can reach out to the superintendent of your old school district and say, hey, I'm moving. Here's the new school district I'm going to. Would you please write a letter of transfer to them, shifting my homeschool paperwork from your school district to the other one. And that means with the new school district would know to look for your letter of evaluation at the end of the year. And then obviously you would continue to do your paperwork in the new school district moving forward from there. So that's a simple process. It's really not a trouble at all. The other thing I want to say about moving, like if you are moving into Pennsylvania, you're going to want to be very familiar with the law. Go to homeschoolpennsylvania.org and check it out. You're going to want to try and connect with people locally if you can, or reach out to us here in CHAP and we can help you get connected. But look for homeschool groups on Facebook with like the name of your town or county in it. That's a way to find you, like Lancaster Homeschool or something like that. But make sure that you know the homeschool law if you're moving into Pennsylvania. If you want to hear an interview and a little bit of a chat about that, check out my interview with Joyelle Stoltzfus. It was episode 316, I want to say maybe. So she just moved in and she talked about the process that she went through in preparing herself to move into the state of Pennsylvania. So you will need to file your homeschool paperwork as soon as you get in, like the day you move in, so that there's no truancy issues, and then you pick up your homeschool year from that point. If you are moving out of Pennsylvania, like you're here, you started homeschooling, you filed your paperwork, and oh, guess what? We're moving to Nebraska halfway through the year. Guess what? That's the end of it. You don't have to worry about it at all. There's nothing to worry about to the end of the year. The Pennsylvania homeschool law does not apply to you anymore. What you would need to do is learn what your new state's homeschool law is and start abiding by that. So that was our second topic of today, regarding moving or relocating during the school year. So hopefully that was helpful. The last thing I want to cover today is the private tutor law. I'm not going to read it, but it is on homeschoolpennsylvania.org if you want to go check it out. It's short. It's pretty gray. It's not like, do this. There's a number of things in the homeschool law that we have to do, right? The private tutor law is not that way. It is very vague. It's pretty basic too. So, and that might feel a little odd. It actually is more similar to how a number of other states function in their homeschool law. So the basic premise of the private tutor law is that you need to be a certified teacher in the state of Pennsylvania. So if you're a teacher but you're certified in a different state, this would not apply because you need to be a PA certified teacher. Now you could become a PA certified teacher if you would like to. But as far as the law goes, you need to be a PA certified teacher. It doesn't need to be like all the up-to-date things that you need to do to keep it current. But you need to have been certified in the state of PA. And then what you do is you file a copy of that certification plus your criminal background checks with the school district and say, hey, I'm going to private tutor my kids. I'm going to homeschool my kids under the private tutor law. So what that does, and we do have a sample letter on homeschoolpennsylvania.org, it notifies the school district that you are a certified teacher and you're going to be teaching your own kids at home. And then you teach them however you would. I do know a few private tutors that have filed as an actual homeschool parent for the senior year so they could get the diploma. But then I've also known private tutors who don't do that. They don't do that. Their kids have gotten into other schools without that, like continuing education, without having that PDE diploma. So it is up to you how you handle that. I can suggest that you go to the PA Private Tutors Facebook group. So if you go into Facebook here and you search for PA Private Tutors, there is a group there and they have discussions about all these types of things to help you as a private tutor here in the state of Pennsylvania. But it is super gray. It's not even definite that you need to file a letter every year reminding the school district that you're teaching or private tutoring your kids. I knew someone who did a beginning of the year letter, an end of the year letter, but it doesn't even say you have to do an end of the year letter. It doesn't even necessarily say that you have to do one every single year. So if you want more help and guidance on that, you can be a member of HSLDA and get some legal counsel. But I am just sharing with you what the law says. You can read it for yourself on homeschoolpennsylvania.org. And like I said, we have a sample letter out there that you can use and enjoy the freedom to homeschool as a private tutor. It's quite a free law and a very interesting thing. I have encouraged people, if they're not quite sure what they would want to do post high school education, maybe getting certified as a Pennsylvania teacher would be helpful, because then you could do private tutor law. But there's other things with doing that and the training that teachers get now in colleges. So at any rate, that was the end of the private tutor law notes. So today we covered withdrawing your children from school. We covered moving during the school year, and we covered the private tutor law. So hopefully you found this to be helpful to you today. And you know what? If you want to help us out, we would love it if you would like our videos, subscribe to our page, hit the notifications, share with others, make comments on our videos and our Spotify, our podcasts out there, so that more people are aware of the resources that we're putting out for them. And send our team to our training in September so that we can get down there. It's down south this year, and we are so excited to get down there and be together again with national leaders, get the encouragement and training that we need in order to encourage and train you guys. And I'm also super excited for another year. We have started our school year here. It's a slow start. We like to do an ease in kind of a thing. So we're enjoying our read alouds and dipping the toe into math, doing a few of those things before our co-op gets started in September. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for supporting us. And I look forward to talking with you yet another time. We'll see you later. Bye.